Yo, what's up, guys? This is Venus here, back with another video. And today's story time is about the time when I almost got caught selling weed in school. Alright, so let me start from the beginning. Me and my uncle sell, we sold. We don't sell anymore because I don't live in California with him anymore. But when I was there, we used to sell hella weed, like, cause we had the best weed in town. Like, we lived in a pretty small town in California, and we had the best weed in town because, like, we grew it at home. We grew all of our shit. Like, we did everything ourselves, and like, I know how to grow and all that, cause he taught me. He been growing since he was my age. Like, nah, he been growing since before my age. He been growing since he was like 12. But so we used to grow weed. We had pounds on pounds on pounds, and we were known for having the best weed in town. So we used to sell hella pounds. Like, I would trim them up, he would weigh them, bag it up, all that, and we hit people up, wait till we find people that wanted it, and sell pounds. And I had quite a few homies that was buying that shit because everybody in the town where I'm from, everybody smoked. Most people were allowed to smoke. Most people's parents were on drugs. They didn't care what the fuck their kids were doing, shit like that. So I was selling weed to everybody, like all ages, like mainly pounds though, like quarter pounds, half pounds, and full pounds. That was all we sold. We didn't go no lower than a quarter pound. But well, actually, this was the one time I went lower than a quarter pound, and this is why I didn't do that shit no more because I almost got caught. And so I was in school one day, and my old homie Axel, I knew he was my homie in elementary school, close friend. We kind of fell off in middle school, weren't really too good friends, but like we were still like best friends in middle or in elementary school. So it's not we didn't know each other, you know what I mean? And then he came up to me one day in when I was in 8th grade. I'm in 9th grade now, but this is when I was in 8th grade. He came up to me and was like, yo, I'm trying to buy some weed. And I was like, how much you need? He told me he needed 2 ounces. I was like, bet, what you want? And he was like, shit, what you got? I said, we got black runts, lemon cherry gelato. And he said, let me get that black runts. And I was like, bet, how much you need? He told me he needed 2 ounces of that shit. I was like, all right, I got you. I'll bring that shit tomorrow. He was like, bet. So then go through the rest of the day. It was cool, you know what I mean? Like, got high with my friends and shit after school. Went back to the house, smoking and everything. Wait till my uncle got home from work. Then I told him my homie was trying to buy 2 ounces. He was like, all right, cool. Charge him 100. I was like, bet. And then, because we usually sold ounce for 60, but if you were buying more than that, we would charge you 50 a piece. And it was fire too, so everybody was trying to buy it because we had like the best prices because we grew it ourselves. So like we didn't need to sell it for expensive. And so I trimmed up 2 ounces, had my uncle weigh it out for me, or I trimmed up probably like 3, 4 ounces altogether. And then he weighed it out for me, weighed out 2 ounces, and then I chilled out the rest of that night, smoked, got high, ate dinner, you know what I mean, hung out with my family, and then like went to bed that night, woke up in the morning about 6:30, 7 o'clock, and then woke up. It was like 15 minutes before I had to go to the bus stop, so I was like, fuck. Hopped up, got dressed quick, ran out to the living room. You already know, had to get high before school, go out there, break down some weed, rip a couple bong rips, probably like 3, 4 bong rips. I walk outside and go to the bus. And then I was high as fuck, like always. Went out there, had this weed in my backpack, because I put it in there the night before. As soon as I got up, I could smell that shit. Like, my room was stinking because of it. Like, bad. I was low-key tripping about bringing it to school, but I was like, I'll be good, whatever, screw it. And then, so I got up, smoked, hopped on the bus, on the way to school, right? First period goes good, everything. Went in the bathroom, got high with my friends, was hitting carts and shit. And then go to second period, which is PE. And I was in the weight room with my homies, we was in the back corner. And the PE teacher walked over to us just to like say something. I don't remember what he came over there to say. But he was like, yo, somebody over here smells like I can smell it. That's what he said. He was gonna say something smells like weed, but he was like, I can smell it. And then walked away. And I was like, fuck. And I know he didn't say nothing because he was like the coolest PE teacher ever, like dead ass. But then after that, I was like, fuck. And all my homies were like, who got that shit? Who got that? And I was like, shit, I don't know. And they were like, dude, shut your lying ass up. We know it's you. We know you be selling that shit. And I was laughing. I was like, hell yeah, you already know. And then went to my third period, which was the class that I had my homie Axel with. He was the one that was trying to buy the weed, And so I brought this shit and I went and sat next to him in class. Teacher started being a bitch. I was like, bro, I don't care what you guys say. I'm gonna sit where I want to sit. He was all pissed off and shit, but I was like, I don't give a fuck. And then I sat next to my homie Axel, was telling him like, yo, I got this shit. Like, you got the $100, right? And he was like, bro, I got the money, but I forgot my backpack. Like, this dumb motherfucker didn't bring his backpack after telling me to bring the shit to school. And then, because I was going to give it to him, that way he could have it, and he was going to, like, just ditch with it. That way he wouldn't have to worry about getting caught. But this dumb bitch didn't fucking bring his backpack. So, since he didn't bring his backpack, I had to keep that shit on me. And then the rest of that period was smooth. I just moved back to my seat so my teacher wouldn't send me to the office because I knew I'd get caught pulling up to the office. But after that, went to my fourth period. Boom, everything was good because I said hella far from the teacher. And then fifth period, bro. This was my favorite class. I had this bitch in the class I was talking to, little thick ass girl. And then, like, I was talking to her the whole class and shit, She had her fucking neck, so I was over there hitting her neck in class, hiding that shit. And then, while I was over there talking to her, one of the yard duties fucked this bald ass bitch. I hate him. He walked in the class and he was like, Zeus, come with me. And this girl looked at me and she was like, what you got? Give it to me. And I was like, I can't. He gonna see me. And then she was like, fuck. And so I got up, went with him, went up to the office. And while I was in the office, the counselor, she brought me in there and she was like, hey, Zeus, how's it going? I was like, it's going good, same old, same old. And she was like, so somebody somebody informed me that you had weed on you. And I was like, what do you mean? I don't have no weed. And then she was just like, are you sure about that? Because somebody came up here and told us that you said you had weed and that you told them you had weed on you. And I was like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't smoke. I don't have no weed. And she was like, Zeus, we know you smoke. Like, we have your record. You've been caught smoking multiple times. And I was like, all right, I used to smoke, but I don't smoke no more. And I don't have no weed. And she was like, you sure about that? And I said, yes, ma'am. And then she was like, let me search your backpack. And I said, no, I don't need to let you search my backpack. And she was like, okay, well, the school officer's on his way over from the high school right now anyway, so he'll just search you. And then, so as soon as she said that, my heart dropped to my ass. I was so scared. Like, so I just hopped up and started walking out the office. And her and the principal were like, Zeus, come back in here, blah, blah, blah. You need to get over here. Like, because I wasn't at the office yet. I was just out of the room they were in. And they started following me. And this big old fat ass yard duty, I ain't gonna lie, he cool as hell. I like him. But I felt bad about this. But it was his own fault. Like, I don't know why the fuck he did this. But you know how, like, when you're in a school, there's those, like, long metal door handles that you, like, push on to open the office doors and shit, And so I went up and I went to open it, and he was standing in front of the doors, like, trying to block me or something. I don't know what he thought this was going to do, but he had his thumb in between the door, like, that metal part, and, like, you know how you push that metal thing to open up the doors. Like, he had his thumb in between that. And I did not give a fuck about his thumb. I was not getting caught with his weed at school. So I just, bam, hit the door thing. I heard his thumb. I know I did. He was like, I pulled his thumb out of the door. And then I just took off running. And him and the yard dude that came and got me out of class were following me. And like I said in my last video, we live in the country, so there's a bunch of trees and grass and stuff around, like all tall ass dead grass. And at first I ran off and I laid down and I hid in all these rocks and trees and shit. And I knew I probably only had like 3 or 4 minutes until this cop got to the school. So I was like, fuck. And I heard them walk past me and keep going. And my dumb ass, I got up and tried to like go out of these bushes and rocks and everything. And I was getting stuck in these bushes. Like, I could not get out of these thick ass bushes. It was like little trees in there or some shit. I could not get out. And they started coming back because they heard my dumb ass. So I was like, fuck this. I just went out the same way I came in. And they were both looking at me. They were like, Zeus, come back here, blah, blah, blah. And then I just took the fuck off running at that point. I was like, fuck this. And I just started running as fast as I could up this hill. And then since I started running, they were both like, all right, whatever. And I started walking back to the school because we were like right next to the school still. And then once I saw them go around the corner, in case that cop pulled up, I pulled both the bags of weed out of my backpack and threw them next to this tree. That way, if the cop came up and grabbed me, I didn't have nothing on me, you know what I mean? Like I stuck it like under this bush right by this tree, and then went up to the road and was walking, and I called my aunt and I was like, yo, the school said they was having the cops come. They would smell that weed on me. The kid that I brought it to get didn't have his backpack, so I couldn't give it to him. Like, I almost got caught with that shit. I'm walking back to the house right now. And she was like, all right, where you at? And I told her I was on the hill leaving from the school. And she was like, all right, I'm on my way. She pulled up, hopped in her car. We drove a little bit back down the hill. And she was like, you got the weed? And I was like, no, I ditched it right there at that tree. That way, if the cop pulled up, I wouldn't have nothing. And she pulled over the car, gangster as fuck, pulled over the car, let me hop out, run over to this tree, grab the bags of weed, and run back to the car, because she wasn't letting me about to lose no 2 ounces over this shit. And then, so I ran back, grabbed that weed, came back, hopped in the car. We peeled off, went back to the house, and shit, I was chilling at the house, smoked up, I was just getting high as fuck all day, waiting for my uncle to come home, told him what happened. He was like, you're fucking retarded. Don't ever try to sell no shit at school again. And this is why we don't sell no less than a quarter pound. I was like, yeah, all right, I see what you're saying. And he was like, yeah, don't try and do that shit again. I was like, all right, bet, I won't. And then, so next day when I went to school, I was expecting them to instantly come and grab me and pull me up to the office, you know what I'm saying? But the next day I went to school, and the principal was standing out front of the school. She was like, Jesus, and I was like, hey, what's up? Expecting her to be like, get your ass up to the office, But she didn't say nothing. Like, everything was cool. I went through the school day, everything was good. Like, nothing ever happened about that. Like, they never came and got me and, like, tried to question me about that again, because they knew it wasn't going to work, because I wasn't going to bring no shit again after that, So they gave up on that. And then I got caught for some other shit and got expelled, but that'll be another story time. So if y'all like the video, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what y'all thought about this video, Yeah, have a good one. I'll post another video probably tomorrow.